welcome everyone to the ScreamCast, episode 49. I am Sean DeRager, and with me is Brad Henderson.
Hey, I'm gonna yawn first.
Jeez, okay. Yeah, he just rolled out of bed.
How's it going, Sean?
Good, man.
Good morning.
We are wrapping up our Blaxploitation episodes. We were going to try to do 4, and I think we're good. I think after today's episode, we'll be good.
Well, we had something planned and it fucking fell through.
I was trying to say it more eloquently.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, as a producer on the show, you run into many problems, and you know, I mean, honestly, we love the Blaxploitation thing, but hindsight, maybe 4 episodes might be a little too much, especially without the guests that I had planned, which actually the guest is still down. It's just not at this time. Right. You'll be happy if that actually ever pans out. So
I'm sure it will.
Moving along.
Hold on. I need to pour myself a glass of Crown Royal Maple. Crown Royal Maple.
Coffee shop of horrors,
everybody. Again. Today's show brought to you by alcohol.
I'm drinking Canada Dry.
All right. Well, we don't want another burning episode, so we'll take it easy.
Ryan Turk doesn't want one either. Gotta listen to fucking Horror Authority over here.
Yeah, exactly. Hilarious. Well, first, before we jump into, we're going to be talking about horror Blaxploitation. So I'm pretty.
Can't talk.
I can't talk today.
So you're drunk?
Not yet. We'll be talking about horror Blaxploitation. But first, I think we need to jump into some Blu-ray announcements.
Do you like what you see?
I love what I see.
Would you like to touch what you see?
Yes, I would.
Do we?
Do you have any?
Do you have them?
Shit. Yep.
Okay. On the 16th, Comedy of Terrors and Eskimo Nell were released in the UK. Arrow did Comedy of Terrors, 88 Films did Eskimo Nell. And February 17th, Scream released Animal, which actually that's a contemporary release produced by Drew Barrymore, oddly enough. Yeah, it's actually produced by Drew Barrymore. And I told you that, but you don't listen to me. Surprisingly, decent. Great special effects on the monster, all practical pretty much.
Okay.
It's very standard. People go out in the woods, they're attacked by a creature. Very standard. Nothing with that. The character development's not that great. There's a couple cool moments, but other than that, it's a fun little monster flick. If you're into that shit.
Is it better than Leprechaun Origins?
I actually never made it through that movie, so I don't know.
Allegedly,
it's
better.
Not that I turned it off, but I only got to Leprechaun, and I bought that box set, and I was like, man, I'm gonna watch the Leprechaun movies. And I watched Leprechaun, and I'm like, I can't do it.
You didn't even get to Leprechaun in space?
No, I didn't get to Leprechaun 2.
Dude, you're no fun. Leprechaun in the Hood?
And Brian Trenchard Smith directed 2 of those, I think, and he's one of my favorites. So we'll eventually I'll get there when I'm old and decrepit and have nothing to do. Also, from a Whisper to a Scream came out. Is that right?
Nope, it got delayed.
It got delayed?
Got delayed, yes, sir.
Really update this list. So scratch that. That got delayed. VHS Viral, I know, is released. I've talked about that a few times. It's I rewatched it. It's not as bad as I saw when I saw it at Fantastic Fest in the theater. It's not as bad. It's definitely worth the Bone Storm segment, but it was weird because there's been all this talk because when I originally saw it, there were 3 shorts. There was the Nacho Vigalondo, one of the Magician one, and Bone Storm. Mm-hmm. And then there's this weird fucking wraparound bullshit that happens. And I thought it was really, really short. And I thought there was talk about a 4th segment that Todd Lincoln, the guy that did the apparition, I thought he had he had a segment, and I was like, that's, bizarre. Maybe I was wrong, but then later on I heard, and there was all this controversy that it was deleted. They didn't want it in there, blah, blah, blah. Well, eventually Bloody and Disgusting, Brad Miska, who produces the whole entire franchise, he said, it's going to be on VOD and it's going to be back. Motherfucker, it's at the end after the credits.
Oh, God.
And two things. Number one, if anybody watched fucking VHS movies, there's this, want to make you have epilepsy credits that roll because they play fucking dubstep, nothing but static, and fucking just bright lights and noises. So you can't even fathom to begin to watch the credits. And it's after the credits, so most people are going to turn it off. Second, I understand why it wasn't put in because it's actually really good. And it doesn't follow the formula of found footage. He uses very, very little found footage, but it's a really fucking beautiful and dark and short. It's fucking great. It's really, really good, and it's actually worth it because now there's 2 segments in there. Usually, that's why I always say there's always 2 segments in the VHS films that are decent. And this one actually is called Gorgeous Vortex, and it's fucking legitimately I say almost breathtaking.
Yeah.
It's fucking gorgeous, and it's really dark and mysterious, and it's fucking sexy as shit too. Nothing but titties.
Bam.
So yeah, and then Phantom of the Opera, Robert Englund's Phantom of the Opera is released by Scream, and I guess the Andromeda Strain. I haven't seen it on the shelf or anywhere, but apparently the 1971 version got released by Universal, which they're always low key on their Blu-ray releases now because they're re-releasing shit, but they don't ever say it Took me forever to find Firestarter. I thought that would be in the fucking store.
I know, man. I still haven't got Firestarter just because I should just order that on Amazon.
Well, I finally got it because there's this place. I was telling you about it, and I tweeted. But in just a few states, GameStop has another store called Movie Stop. And I went into this place, and they literally, no exaggeration, Sean is my witness because I sent him a picture of the fucking store. There's 20,000 movies in this place. Just lines of fucking DVDs and Blu-rays. Those shelves are stacked. They're not face up like rental stores. You can only see the spines, so it's just flooded with used and new DVDs and Blu-rays. And I picked up some really out of print stuff that was super cheap, for $1.99, because no one ever goes in these stores around here to buy it. So yeah, it's in a few states. I know Virginia was one. Of course, Florida has 12 of them. It's ridiculous. So yeah, if you're go to moviestop.com and look up locations, because if you're a collector and you're looking for some out of print stuff, Blu-rays are a little bit minimal on what they have, but some of the older stuff, older out of print DVDs, that's where to go, man. I hit it big, and I only hit one. So yeah, FYE and Movie Stop, if they're in your area, trust me. I know that FYE's always had kind of a bad rap because of their prices, but they've completely rechanged their formula and how they stock and price things because it's super cheap now. So yeah, definitely something to look out for.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it. And
all right.
We'll hit next.
We got some good stuff coming up next week.
Yeah, next week's good. Just to let everyone know, I know we've mentioned, I said it a few times, Satan's Blade keeps on getting pushed back.
Yeah.
But apparently Olive Films has confirmed April 24th. So
okay.
Satan's Blade will be getting a Blu-ray. I know it's supposed to come out next week or something, and then it got pushed to sometime in March, and now it's April. But they officially sent a press release, and I did request it, so I know I'm getting that shit.
Nice. Well, also in April, From a Whisper to a Scream got pushed all the way back to April 28th. And I think it was to add, they had to get another, for another special feature.
Right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth it.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, and like I said, people would probably wonder why it's so short. We've said in the past, because I was actually asked a couple times on Twitter and Facebook, why aren't we giving all new updates? We're just doing kind of week by week now because this shit would take forever.
Yeah,
it really would, because we're trying to cover more, and it would take too long.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Cool. Right on. Unless they have some super crazy announcement, holy shit, this movie's coming to Blu-ray this year. You know what I mean?
Blaxploitation horror.
Let's jump into, yeah. All right. So we have been talking at Blaxploitation the past 2 episodes, and I feel like we've been kind of setting the foundation of it pretty good for as best as 2 totally white and dorky guys.
Why are you saying white and dorky? Like, are you like
White
don't
and nerdy?
throw
I'm
me
gonna play
in
some
this-
Weird Al. I'm gonna play some Weird Al for you.
Why? This is exactly why you're considering yourself that. Because you made those jokes. No, I am far more. Don't lump me in the nerdy white boy category. I'm like overly confident in Blaxploitation. I know my shit.
I know, and there is no way I would ever attempt to cover Blaxploitation on my own ever. So
I would.
Brad would. So that's why this is work. But what I'm saying is, I feel like we've we've been helping lay the foundation. Starting with the beginnings of Blaxploitation with Sweetback's Badass Song, moving into more of the influences that Blaxploitation has had on modern filmmakers. Any chance to talk about Quentin Tarantino and even get some audio from him into the show, I'm jumping on that shit for sure.
What if people thought that was like our guest for a second?
Yeah,
I thought about that when I listened to it. I was like, we got Tarantino as a guest.
I found that stuff on YouTube. So moving along, like
giving it away.
I posted the YouTube clip on the website. So anyway, so I think that
People never go to the website.
They don't. This is good to jump into the horror element of Blaxploitation, especially because Scream Factory has the double feature of Blacula and Blacula Scream coming out on Blu-ray. So unfortunately, we didn't get any screeners for that, but we'll do our best to cover what they're doing with it.
Did you watch them?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I watched the movies. What are you kidding?
Oh, I thought you meant I literally thought you meant since we haven't watched it, we're gonna still try to cover it.
I haven't watched these at all. So.
I've seen Blacula a few times. I actually haven't revisited Blacula Scream in a while because that thing's a little boring.
It is.
I'm more into the kind of because Blacula is so popular, because number one, when people hear Blacula, it's funny because it's obviously sounds like Dracula, and you exactly know what you're going to get. So even as a kid before I even knew what Blaxploitation was, and even before I was getting into horror, I heard people joke about Blacula. So I don't know. I mean, it's a decent movie. It's funny at times. It's it's just whatever. It's one of the foundations for before they went into kind of the spin-offs and just kind of their own thing, doing their own little their own horror films. Because I mean the following year we got Blackenstein, which is obvious. I don't really need to go into that.
Allegedly, it's horrible.
Blackenstein is not bad. It's better than Blacula Scream.
Huh? Okay. Well, let's talk about. Let's start with.
I can't believe you just trashed it.
Well, and that's what I heard. I haven't watched it. I didn't get a chance to watch it. You gave me a list of movies to check out, man. There's just no way I can check all these out.
Did I not give you Blackenstein?
You did. And it was on my list to try to check out if I could, but I went on vacation and had to do family stuff. You know what I mean?
It's your fault. Well, Blaxploitation horror was really, really big in the 70s. I mean, Blackenstein came out. Ganja and Hess, which was released overseas, a UK company. I think it was Odeon released it on Blu-ray. And then Abby, which was a spinoff of The Exorcist, was out, and that's actually legitimately good. And then Sugar Hill followed, which is I know you did watch that one.
Mm-hmm. It was good.
Sugar Hill is good, and then we had another JD's Revenge, which I know you watched.
Yep.
That's really that's another really legitimately good movie.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde, which obviously that's a spinoff of Jekyll and Hyde, which isn't that bad. It's just mostly because they were inverting so much comedy into them just because they were kind of doing spinoffs. And, Ganja and Hess is, I've said legitimately 4 times now. we just had, quite a few like decent horror films, blaxploitation horror films, and then it just kind of fell off.
Yeah.
Like they just stopped. And that's kind of weird because I mean, obviously they kept making blaxploitation horror films, but they just stopped out of nowhere. And then that was kind of disappointing because, I actually enjoyed a lot of those. We had a direct-to-video one, Black Devil Doll from Hell, which was unavailable for a long time. You could only find a rare VHS, but Massacre Video recently released it on DVD, so I definitely suggest picking that up.
There's a guy by the name of David Walker. He's from Seattle. He's from Portland. I think he did the voice for the. He knew the filmmakers. He did the voice, the voiceover for the trailer.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Well, then just a few years ago, Black Devil Doll came out, which was obviously
maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of is Black Devil Doll. I'm thinking of Black Devil Doll.
Yeah, because it was like it's very it's funny because that trailer is fucking classic. Like the movie's actually pretty good too. I know that the Giallo's Flame actually did this soundtrack to that, which was phenomenal. It was so good. I mean, they're kind of a throwback. They take scores already, like pre-existing scores to movies, and they just kind of do their own thing. They don't sample, but they make it kind of how Claudio Simonetti did his like Halloween and Psycho stuff. Whenever he was covering things, like he would do his own spin. Well, that's kind of what they do, and they did a killer soundtrack for that movie. So that's my 2 cents.
Cool.
But I mean, we do have some modern blaxploitation horror, which is Tales from the Hood, which is an anthology. It's fucking hilarious. Bones, which I've talked about constantly. I'm a big fan of Bones, even though how corny it is.
Leprechaun in the Hood 1 and 2.
I don't know.
No,
I wouldn't. Like just because, like I've said countless times, just because black people are in a movie doesn't mean it's blaxploitation.
But it says in the hood.
It says in the hood, which is automatically makes it not blaxploitation. Just of all these urban comedies when they're in no,
right.
No, they're not. That takes away from blaxploitation. We don't need that. Fucking bullshit.
I could agree with that.
Blaxploitation. And then I think Snoop Dogg did Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror.
Hood.
But it's not Hood of the Horror or whatever, whatever you're talking about. But yeah, I never watched that. But I know that was like another one that was very, very popular among blaxploitation fans.
So what I want to kind of do is let's snag a handful of the really good ones, of ones that we can recommend to people.
Like blaxploitation in general?
The blaxploitation horror.
Oh yeah, totally.
So
go ahead, Sean. Why don't you shout one out?
Well, we'll start. We'll dig into a little bit with Blacula. I mean, really, there's not a lot to say about it. It's basically Dracula. It's basically the story of Dracula.
But it's an African prince.
Right, but it's an African prince.
You
my
said
God.
that like with kind of,
I burped. Hold on. Whew. Dude, I just ate like so much Italian food. It's not even funny. Let me make a note.
Okay.
But Blacula, that starred, is it William Marshall?
William H. Marshall.
William H. Marshall.
Prince Mabalwadaya. I can never say it correctly.
And it's basically he's, for some reason, him and his wife are having dinner with Dracula, and Dracula decides to turn him into Blacula. I really dug the movie for what it was. I think that they try to take the material as seriously as they can, as they could have made it campy. They were legitimately trying to make like a straight up, Dracula movie. Just with the, at the time, that ethnic spin,
Ethnic.
that's the wrong thing to say. See, I fuck up all the time.
The
what I'm saying.
The colored spin.
No.
They put a bunch of damn colored people in the fucking horror film. I was sitting here dogging you, white Dracula. I got black Dracula. I know what's going on.
Anyway,
That's me.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking racist. They made this movie a little bit urban.
Made it a little urban. That's what I meant to say, urban. That's what I meant
This
to
horror
say.
film has an urban spin.
Anyway.
This is exactly why it's goofy white guys. Because you should say shit like ethnic.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Go ahead, try to finish.
I don't even care. I'm not even gonna edit this out. I don't even care anymore. So.
No, I understand what you're saying. Like,
everyone knows what I'm saying, okay? Jesus
They
Christ.
legitimately try to make a straightforward horror film, but it's just so comical, though.
No, it is. It is. Like,
and it's not because it's black people. It's just because how they actually present it and go about it. It's, you can almost feel them trying to, like, put their heart and soul into it. And it just comes out kind of funny. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, because it's not a failure by any means. It's just like you can see it. You see it unfolding in your eyes, and you can just you can't help but laugh.
Well, I mean, for one thing, whenever he becomes, Blacula, right? Whenever he turns into the vampire, all of a sudden he has this really weird facial hair, out of nowhere just appear.
Very, very spotty on his cheeks.
Yeah, it's very weird.
He's got spotty cheek hair.
He does. And I don't know who made that decision, but they had to must have been a budgetary thing. All right, we got to make it look like he's all of a sudden transformed into a vampire. So let's just put hair on his face. I don't know, but that's really odd. But but what I liked about this movie is, and I think any movie in the 70s in general has to. We're watching these now, and some of the style choices, the turtlenecks, the mustaches, the afros, it's so over the top. And the clubs that they go to with that, that jazzy kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's Blaxploitation in general. Like, our episodes are fucking big cars, big guns, big afros,
Yeah. Yeah, but
that's traditional. I mean, just the outfits and the costumes that these movies put together that's worth it just to watch that.
Yeah.
And fucking Fred Williamson's big, like, I don't know where the fuck he gets his cigars. His cigars are fucking 12 inches long. And he's always chomping on them, too.
Yeah. So anyway, so Blacula, one thing I wanted to talk about, at the beginning when, he makes his first appearance as Blacula, and there's the characters that are obviously gay,
the Bobby and Billy?
Yeah, I was wondering, was that, do you think that they represented, gay characters well in this? I didn't know how to.
I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm just gonna let you crash and burn yourself.
No,
go ahead. You let us know.
I was wondering what the stereotypes were like back then, because now when you see like a gay character, or if there was a while like in the 90s especially where it was like super over the top, you know what I mean, flamboyant.
Yeah.
Whereas I kind of liked how they, you can tell there's something going on there with those guys, but it wasn't like over the top and flamboyant. You know what I mean? That's what I mean to say. And I'm wondering,
point. Like it's weird of that transition of every every decade, gay people are represented differently.
Because this was like a married couple. It was cool.
They're represented like in the 70s. It was completely different. In the 80s, it was more or less like it was a lot of drag and dressing up.
Yeah.
And then in the 90s, you're right. It was just overly flamboyant, like birdcage, like shit. And now it's more or less like hiding it and then coming clean.
What I appreciated, I think that's what I mean to say is like what I appreciated was at that time when this movie was made, they were letting everyone be represented, as themselves. Like this was like there was no joke, there was no gay jokes. You know what I mean? It was this is a gay couple. Done.
Yeah,
you know
if they did that, then probably wouldn't be considered a fucking Blaxploitation movie.
Right. And I'm wondering, it's just
the only thing they hated was Whitey.
Exactly. Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting observation on my part. You know,
Everyone, the gays
by now
hated just as much as Whitey.
Huh?
I said the gays were just hated as much as by Whitey as like black people. So I mean, it would make sense.
It makes sense. I like that aspect of it. Anyway, these types of subjects, man, I always end up wording things horribly wrong. Well, but
just let it flow. I mean, we know what we're talking about. I mean, obviously, how we've spoken, like any listeners know, like they know us by now. They obviously know we aren't racist or fucking homophobic. I mean, we fucking talk about our dicks constantly on this show.
Do we? You
do. I do.
Oh, man.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's plenty. That's whatever. That's a whole different conversation. Yeah. But
so anyway,
we love the gays.
All right, we do. So moving along, so Blacula came out in 1972, and then its sequel came out in 1973, and
that shit was made back to back.
The sequel has like a voodoo element, and then has Pam Grier, which is awesome that it has Pam Grier. I can't talk. Pam Grier. But unfortunately, like the movie just kind of lays there, man.
No, it's very, very bland. It's very, very bland.
And it's kind of a shame because I was all excited to see this, but it's pretty bland. So it makes sense that Scream would put this into like a double feature,
Oh, yeah,
I think a UK company did this in a double feature, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, somewhere in the UK. It's funny that you mentioned voodoo, because I know that you haven't like dove into blaxploitation horror so much, but it's all about voodoo.
No, I know. I was gonna say,
it's every fucking movie.
Sugar Hill, man.
Voodoo.
Sugar Hill. I mean, voodoo.
Yeah, JD's Revenge, Abby, Alabama's Ghost. They all have some form of element of voodoo, and it's funny. I wish I had this list of stereotypes in blaxploitation horror, and it was really, really funny because it's super accurate. And I wish I still had it, but I was looking online a few weeks ago, and someone wrote up this list and it wasn't racist list. It was just basically laying it out, like literally, of all the types of the stereotypes in every single blaxploitation horror film, and they were hitting it on the nose, and it was really, really funny. Nice. But yeah, I mean, voodoo is just so common.
Yeah.
In these, that's the only drawback for blaxploitation horror. I don't mind voodoo at all, but it's every horror film, it seems.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's even that voodoo element in Blacula. I feel like even though it's not said, there's elements of it. Just feels like it. I don't know if that's. Now, if you said this, you would probably feel racist. But whenever you deal with that type, whenever you deal with blaxploitation and just even black people in films today, they throw in so many goddamn voodoo elements. Yeah. I don't know what that's about. Like even like Jezebel that came out. Like, as soon as a black person's mentioned, it has to be fucking voodoo. Like, what? Why? Why are we? It's like that's a very stereotype. It's like, oh, we need like Hatchet. As soon as they fucking go to Louisiana, every black person fucking does voodoo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get really, really tired of the voodoo shit. So that's why I like blaxploitation horror, but I'm not a big fan of it because. I'm really like even still to this day I'm fucking tired of voodoo.
Huh.
That's the one aspect of fucking Child's Play I don't like is the voodoo shit. I hate the voodoo. Like I hate when he goes to meet him and they fucking talk about voodoo and fucking voodoo dolls.
Well, let's transition into Sugar Hill and talk about it briefly in a second. But first, I wanted to mention like this double feature is coming out with Scream Factory. It's not that stacked with special features, but there is an audio commentary with David Walker, who I just mentioned, who did the voiceover for that Black Devil doll trailer. But it's oh shit, where'd he go? It's an audio commentary with David Walker, and it's parentheses reflections on Blaxploitation, actors and directors speak. So, kind of cool seeing that David Walker is on that commentary. I want to check it out. He's been on podcasts and stuff before, and he's into comic books. He's an author, and his website is called thedavidwalkersite.com. But he's awesome. He knows a shit ton of Blaxploitation. In hindsight, we should have had him on the show. Damn it. But
anyway. You think of things on the show, that's the ultimate worst. That's the worst.
I know. Sorry. And then Blacula Scream has a new interview with actor Richard Lawson. So that's all the special features on there. I rented these both on voodoo.com. Speaking of voodoo, VUDU.com.
Jesus Christ.
And
you make dad jokes during the show.
I rented them in HD, and they look pretty fantastic. So the blues are probably going to look pretty good. I would imagine they're using the same transfer that I rented.
Unless they pulled from the camera negative, Sean.
This is not a collector's edition, so I doubt they did. So anyway, speaking of voodoo, let's move into 1974. We saw Sugar Hill get released.
Actually, you saw it in 2015.
I just saw it just the other day, but I mean, this is not to be confused with the 1994 film starring Wesley Snipes, because Snipes.
Wesley
They
Snipes.
have no similarities at all, just the name. But Sugar Hill stars Marky Bay.
She didn't really want to do anything. You're saying that like she was a big star.
She was not, but she's super cute, and
yeah, she's
super
cute.
Awesome in this.
Yeah,
which surprises me that she didn't do more, because I think she's really good. And what I like
that's
about it,
pretty much all Blaxploitation actresses other than Pam Grier. They
guess,
all died off, and it's so weird too.
But she's like super cute in this, and Sugar Hill basically her boyfriend or husband who has this bar gets murdered, and she basically through voodoo raises up zombies to have her revenge. I think this is the only black zombie movie. Am I right? Like full on.
Well, there's black demons.
Okay.
Or are you saying Blaxploitation?
Blaxploitation is what I mean.
Oh no, I mean, other than kind of like JD's Revenge in a way, but I mean, like full on like zombies coming. And no, this is definitely as far as I know, the Blaxploitation films I've seen. This is it.
What I like about the idea, I liked the voodoo angle on these zombies, because there's a difference between like zombies came from. Whoever did the first zombie movie, I don't know. You can see like the transition. White Zombie. Was that with the voodoo?
I've never seen White Zombie.
Yeah,
I know that's a kind of criminal, but
well,
I've seen clips of White Zombie.
Yeah.
But no, originally, yeah. I mean, that's where zombies very first came from was voodoo rituals, and then it wasn't until later until they rose from the dead and they started eating people.
Yeah.
But no, it's always been voodoo. I mean, even in Fulci's Zombie, it's about voodoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like this return. Not return, but I kind of like, because we've seen so many variations of zombies throughout the years, and it's almost hit like critical mass. Like it's just too much.
This
zombies.
is early on too. This is just a few years after Night of the Living Dead.
Exactly. So I mean, I really liked the voodoo fact that they're summoned to perform to seek out revenge, to be used as a tool to basically for revenge. What's going on with their eyeballs, though? They're like chrome. That's the only thing that I don't like about it.
What are eyeballs?
The zombies' eyeballs are freaking big old chrome balls.
I thought you meant Sugar Hill's eyeballs.
No, Sugar Hill's eyes are fantastic.
Yeah, I was like, no. I mean, I think that's just part of the possession issue. I mean, I don't know. That's your only pick is the eyeballs.
If I'm going to pick apart the zombies, I'll pick otherwise they look awesome. Like they're basically like bodies, of slaves that were brought to the U.S. from Guinea or something like that. And I like that aspect a lot, you know. What did you think of the guy that plays Baron Samedi? You know, he's this voodoo guy that you see all the time. Was it Don Pedro Coley?
Yeah, he was in THX 1138.
But I dig. I mean, I like that character. Like, you see that character kind of pop up in things. It's a kind of a, you know, reoccurring kind of voodoo character. But he's,
no, I mean, I just like the whole plot of it. You know, she like a bunch of white guys. They summon a bunch of fucking zombies, and they're zombie hitmen. I think that's even on the poster. Like, meet Sugar Hill and her zombie hitman. Like,
yeah.
Boner. I mean, seriously. I mean, that already just gets you. And I do like the different zombie spin. Like this kind of voodoo stuff, I can tolerate because it's a big part of the film.
Yeah.
Like, I should have meant, like, whenever they blame voodoo on shit or try to find the reasoning, it's like, oh, it's because of voodoo.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I mean, this is obviously, like, this is the part of the revenge issue, is that they raise a bunch of slaves in order to be hitmen. I think that's fucking brilliant.
It's kind of sad, though, if you think about it, that these slaves are still slaves even after they're dead.
I guess so.
You know what did you think about whenever Sugar Hill is summoning or in charge of the zombies? She's wearing that white jumpsuit and with an afro, and
her outfits alone in this movie are fucking crazy.
Well, yeah, a lot of polyester, but normally her hair is like all relaxed. You know what I mean? But when she's summoning the zombies and seeking revenge, that's when she has the afro going on.
She's got that killer afro. She's got, like, in that, like, when she's actually wearing that, she looks like it's John Travolta's outfit from, like, Staying Alive or something.
Yeah, exactly. He would totally wear that.
Yeah, but no, I totally dig that outfit. I mean, she's just like that when she actually puts on the white outfit, that's when the movie kind of changes for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it becomes more or less like, I don't know, like a Pam Grier type hero. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah. I think pretty much all the white characters in this film are just despicable. Like, the main mafia guy is so mean to his blonde girlfriend or whatever.
Doesn't he go by the name of Fabulous?
That was the one black character that's with all the white mafia guys. That's Fabulous. And that guy's suits, Charles F. Robinson, though his suits, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. Who?
I think is it Valentine Richard Lawson?
I can't remember.
I can't remember exactly who's.
I can't remember the names.
But I remember Fabulous, because when you first see him, he's wearing this polyester suit that is just loud. And it's funny because he's wearing this suit, but then he goes outside, and then they sneak up on Sugar Hill's man, right, and to beat the shit out of him, and they're wearing, like, stockings over their faces. Like, man, you see that guy from a mile away, you know it's him. You know, a stocking over his head isn't gonna disguise him because of his suits.
You like suit?
Dude, his suits were his suits were awesome. Like, that's, you know.
Richard Lawson was in Poltergeist, so we'll watch that. I'm just saying, he's in Poltergeist.
Okay.
He plays one of the tech guys.
You just watched it. I haven't seen Poltergeist in years.
Yeah, he's also one of the police officers in Streets of Fire.
Okay.
But that's not who I'm talking about of the guy's name. I'm talking about the white guy.
Well, which white guy?
Oh, God damn. Dude, he's super, like, he plays in a lot of horror films. He played in, I think he fucking plays Count Yorga or something. The fucking vampire movies. Jeez.
Oh, man. Now.
This is going to drive me crazy now. I've had a total mind fart, but that's who you're talking about. It's the badass white guy or the dipshit white guy.
Yeah, he's the main mafia boss, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I can't remember his name in the movie. It doesn't matter.
It's not Richard Lawson. Richard Lawson's
Richard Lawson's a black guy.
I know.
That's when you said Richard Lawson. I was like,
Robert Quarry?
That might be it. I honestly can't remember the name of the actor right now. I just know he was in the
Yes, that's him. Yep.
Count Yorga films.
Yes. Okay. Robert Quarry plays the mob boss, and he's just an asshole.
Yeah,
through the whole movie. Yeah. Like, there's nothing good about pretty much
any.
Fucking
dipshit.
Yeah.
I hate him. That's why I probably didn't remember him. But anyways. Sugar Hill's coming out on Blu-ray, by the way.
Yes.
That.
Who's putting it out?
Kino.
Kino, man. Kino is off the hook this year.
Off the hook or the hook?
The hook.
I think they're off the hook.
The only thing about Kino is I'm not expecting a whole lot of special features from them, but they're putting out some good movies. So we know there'll be good transfers for sure.
You're a good transfer.
Mm-hmm. One scene in this movie, I think my favorite scene, the one that actually creeped me out, was with Fabulous in the massage parlor. Do you remember that scene?
You're all about massage parlors.
You're just saying I'm all about whatever I talk about.
Because you're breaking apart the movie. I don't want to talk about those types of things. Those are special moments.
I know. I'm just saying, look out for these moments. It's great. That's the one scene that actually gave me legitimate creepazoids.
Creepazoids is a good movie.
All right, I can tell you want to move on from Sugar Hill. So, Jesus Christ. And finally, I want to talk about my favorite one that I think is actually like a legitimate kind of dark horror story.
JD's Revenge.
JD's Revenge, man. JD's Revenge is about basically a mobster guy. His ghost comes back, and this ghost of JD Walker comes back to haunt our main character. Who is the main character that in
Isaac?
Yeah, Isaac. Yeah. Glenn Turman.
I don't know his real name, but yeah, Isaac is the lead, and then of course we have Louis Gossett Jr. who plays the Reverend.
Yeah, man.
Boom.
Like this movie, I think out of all the ones there is a little element of camp. Everyone's trying to put in a good movie, but I think JD's Revenge, like, there's like some legitimate. It's like a legitimate horror film. Like,
no, it's very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Very, 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 very straightforward.
And Glenn Turman is extremely likable as the main character who's getting haunted. I mean, he's a good looking guy. He's kind of, he's very, very laid back, and he has like a really great smile. You know what I mean? You can, like, I don't know, there's something about the actor you really connect with. And so when things start kind of going down and he starts getting more and more, possessed and is acting out of character, I think those moments hit harder, especially with him and his girlfriend. But I really liked him a lot. He's been in a whole bunch of movies.
You get a little crush on him, don't you?
He was a good actor, man. He was really stinking good.
I know, but you just you're all about this guy right now.
He had an awesome six pack going on.
I mean, he was recently he was in Super 8. I remember he was the dude in the car.
Yeah.
He was also in but I know who you're talking about, mm-hmm. because he has that look. His smile is very, very very memorable. I mean, one of my favorite roles that he ever played, and actually it's an inspiration when I write for teachers, is that he's the teacher in Gremlins that investigates.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
dude, that scene's awesome in Gremlins.
Yeah, he plays Mr. Hansen or whatever. I don't know. It's the way he carries himself and speaks. But no, you're right. He's just a very memorable guy, and he's very charismatic, and you just automatically, you just immediately like him.
Yeah.
So, but no, I know exactly what you mean. No, he's perfect for that role, and he's the one reason why the movie is so good.
Yeah,
is
I think
because you actually, I think even white people have something to relate to with the story of Isaac or Ike, whatever they call him.
He goes by Ike, yeah.
But I don't know. It's a wrongdoing, getting revenge. I don't know. It's just that I think it's a little bit more people can relate to than that. And like you're right, it's just a very serious, and it's got kind of very violent undertones too. I know they don't really go out on a limb with it, but I don't know. There's just a few things about it that really hit hard.
Yeah.
You don't find yourself laughing or anything like that. You just find yourself watching intently into the whole film.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one that I would definitely recommend to anyone who's wanted to seek out any. I don't know. Like this is the one that doesn't feel like it follows all the blaxploitation tropes. You know what I mean? It's just for me. There are some in there, but I feel like it's just a legitimately like you can watch it kind of away from thinking of it as a blaxploitation. I think. Because I wasn't thinking about it at all when I was watching it. I was just kind of caught up in the story of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you put it that way, yeah, I could totally, I get your point. So, good point, Sean. Glenn Turman aficionado.
What do you think of young Lou Gossett here as the preacher?
I don't know. He's all right. I've never been a big Louis Gossett Jr. fan. He always plays the same role to me. He's always like he's got that man face. He doesn't break, I don't know. He plays the same character in every movie. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he probably has played something different, but everything I've seen him and he's been acting since it felt like he was like 12, but, yeah, he always plays that hard ass. So. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say.
Okay. All right.
He's like a black John Cusack. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything but act like John Cusack. John Cusack plays John Cusack in movie. Whether it's drama, comedy, whatever, he doesn't do anything else. Action movie, he fucking plays the bumbling guy. My guy, Louis Gossett Jr. always plays the hard ass. I don't know. I just compared
Tom Cruise always plays Tom Cruise. Jack Nicholson always plays Jack Nicholson. I get it.
You stole my thunder a little bit. Moving along.
So those are the movies that I watched, and in preparation for the show, and I think Blacula, Sugar Hill, and JD's Revenge. I had a lot of fun with those.
No, those would be my top recommendations too. Other than Bones, which I've talked about a few times, I don't think Bones would be well received by a lot of people. There's a certain mindset you have to go into that movie to kind of. You watch all these blaxploitation movies and you watch Bones, you can be kind of let down. You got to go into thinking that it was made in 2001, 2000 here with horror films alone was not that great of a year. People say the 90s weren't great. Kind of the 2000s, the early 2000s were kind of bummy. Mm-hmm. It has very, very similar 2000 tropes that it goes through. But yeah, Bones I'm a big fan of. One thing that is, like I've said, is a good movie is Ganja and Hess. That's definitely one to check out. That's very, very straightforward. Very, very much like JD's Revenge, where there's no comical blaxploitation aspect. Just like how black people were trying to make action movies and shit like that were very serious. there were a couple films like that too. Abby, which is not not that great. It was lost for a long time. It just recently came up on DVD, but it was actually pulled from theaters because Warner Brothers sued them for basically ripping off The Exorcist. So yeah, it was. I believe that they pulled it, and it wasn't seen for a very, very long time, to my knowing. I always saw bootlegs of it, and I think I still actually have a bootleg of it. It's not great, but it's definitely it's a sex. It's a what do you call it? The sexy spirits, like a succubus.
Yeah.
Kind of has it, yeah. It kind of has that succubus thing about a girl possessed by a succubus, but it's an African succubus.
Voodoo succubus.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say voodoo, but anyways, yeah, it's super low budget. It's fucking filthy, not like filthy movie, but it's dirty because it's filmed on 16 millimeter.
Yeah,
so it's really like fucking just looks like a gross film in general. But I don't know. I kind of like that about it because it shows kind of like how this thing went through being kind of underseen for a long time. And also it stars Austin Stoker, who played in Assault on Precinct 13. So that's actually how I came to know about it, is because when I very first saw Assault on Precinct 13 as a young kid, Austin Stoker was kind of the highlight of that. And it's almost like, I talked about kind of the crossover, with like George Romero and John Carpenter doing, fucking Assault on Precinct 13 in 1976, like putting the black guy as the hero, as the cop that bosses around the white guys. That's something to say too. Not saying Assault on Precinct 13 is a blaxploitation film by any means, but it's definitely an exploitation film.
Well, you can see that these movies were having, an effect on the culture around them.
Yeah,
which I don't think we have right now.
No, we don't. We don't. Like I don't start to pick a fight or anything, but not with you. But I'm just saying, like, fucking tell me how many popular male lead black actors do we have?
Yeah.
We can't name a lot.
Yeah.
We can't.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because I was watching a movie called Dear White People, which is actually really stinking good. It's more of a drama than a comedy that, like, the poster art and everything makes you want to kind of think it's a comedy, but it's actually like a really good drama on race and in college and things like that. And there's like the more militant, like black students that are trying to kind of do a Black Panther thing, and they all go to this theater and they're like demanding that the theater play more things than just Tyler Perry movies. And I thought it was kind of funny.
He's the reason why cinema's still alive.
Is he?
No, but I'm just saying that it was. I just find it a little interesting and very, very cool that some of these white notable directors were throwing black people into the leads, because that was kind of a big step, because I mean, we're still in a situation 1976 where maybe that's not as well received. I mean, we're definitely coming out of it, but I just think even George Romero's Night of the Living Dead throwing I think I said that on the past episode, slapping a white woman and bossing all the rest of the white people around. That's a huge fucking thing. Like, I don't think we watch Night of the Living Dead and watch, it's a zombie movie. But think about at the time it came out. Think about 1968, 1969 of that coming out and being a massive hit. It wasn't no small time, low budget film that we, became cult favorite later on. It did really well. It was a very notable. It was at the fucking local drive-in, and seeing that. I don't know. I think films like that really, really helped with civil rights and shit. I would love to see an article or someone actually really investigate that. But as I'm saying, like, blaxploitation, like, with film, black people movies, black writers, actors, directors. Like, they were making a very, very small impact that led to a minor impact. I wouldn't say major, but they definitely helped with a lot of this shit. And I think that's why it's a very important subgenre.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's a reason why it's went away. We have, films that emulate that thing and then use that shit, but it did its purpose. It served its purpose, and it was a great thing. So
cool. I was looking up Ganja and Hess here, and did you know that Spike Lee is basically remaking it?
Oh yeah, with the Sweet Blood of Jesus.
Sweet Blood of Jesus.
Sweet Blood of Jesus. Not to pick on you, Sean, but I said when we fucking do this episode and do I went this whole goddamn time without mentioning Spike Lee.
We were talking about Ganja and Hess, and I just looked here and I saw that friggin', Spike Lee's trying to redo it or something, which is interesting.
Yeah, apparently it's a first shot playwright of fucking Ganja and Hess, but I don't want to talk.
We don't have to. I just thought it was funny. And IMDb has plot keywords: suicide, male full frontal nudity, female nudity, allegory, and vampire. Does that all sound like it makes up Ganja and Hess?
I don't even want to talk about it.
Friggin' IMDb.
The Hess becomes a vampire in the film, yes, and it's a curse, and Ganja.
So Ganja's not weed. That's a character. I'm fucking with you, man.
Well, Ganja is the girl, and it's funny that we brought up Night of the Living Dead because Hess is actually Dwayne Jones, who plays Ben in Night of the Living Dead. By the way.
Huh. Cool. Well, I mean, the plot synopsis sounds interesting, so I definitely I want to check this one out for sure.
Do some bullshit with it, and it's just whatever. It's a vampire movie.
Vampire movie.
I give anything away, but you mentioned vampires, but yeah, it's a neat little vampire movie that's very. I wish Brian Sauer, because I think he's a fan of it. Yeah, it's definitely something to be seen. It's very, very serious, and it has a lot to say. It really does. It's definitely one of those like JD's Revenge, where it has a reason why it's made.
Yeah.
And the fact is that Spike Lee's remaking it. I haven't seen The Sweet Blood of Jesus, but I can guarantee you that it's not going to have that impact. I mean, fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, we've mentioned this before. I think that the 70s were ripe for kind of the social scenario, how things were. It was ripe for kind of social commentary through these films. So I think today we don't have quite the same thing. We saw a little bit of it in the 90s. With kind of like the gangster rap and stuff like that, those movies kind of reflecting that shift in culture. But yeah, I mean, we don't have that kind of electric, scenario kind of going on yet these days. I mean, right now, but it's cool how art can reflect a certain time period, a certain decade. And that's, I look at these Blaxploitation movies and I see them more as a time capsule, as they're fun. Sometimes they're fun, but I think exploring Blaxploitation even further, I've come to even, appreciate them even more as kind of a product of their time and appreciate them for that, we had a listener on our website ask us, how come we left off, movies like, Black Dynamite. On our last episode, and I was kind of, we had on our list to talk about, but that's more parody, right? I mean,
yeah, Michael J. White did a really, really good spoof of Blaxploitation films. I'm a big fan of Black Dynamite. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really fall into our serious conversation. It's the same thing as fucking Undercover Brother.
Right.
Pootie Tang, all those had very, very tons of blaxploitation shit, but they're kind of making fun of the genre.
Right.
I don't know if this conversation is about making fun of it or talking about those films. It's more or less the impact.
Exactly. That's how I feel about it.
I mean, Pootie Tang's funny. Black Dynamite's hilarious. It's really good.
Mhm.
I wasn't a fan of my brother, but yeah. I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, even like stuff "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker." Like, I didn't want to really talk about that too much, even though that stars some like fucking Isaac Hayes, Bernie Casey, fucking Jim Brown. I mean, it's got a great cast. It's a great movie. It's just that I don't know. Those films were made after the impact,
Right.
and I tear down that impact so much. I didn't want to. I don't like to make fun of blaxploitation because I think it's a very serious time.
Right.
I think it's wrong. The same reason why I didn't want to talk about fucking Dolomite. Dolomite was one of the very first parodies of making blaxploitation. They were making fun of it while it was around. I just don't care for that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like up till I started jumping into blaxploitation more and learning about it, I'd always thought of it as, you see the parodies and you think that they're just kind of dumb fun.
That's the thing is that
and that's the thing.
Are popular because of the parodies.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot more under the surface of blaxploitation than what, parody reveals, and, the parodies are funny. They're funny. They have their place, but I think that for me, when I was unfamiliar with blaxploitation, it kind of kept me away from it because I thought, oh, that's just all, I've seen it all in these parodies. You know what I mean? I don't really need to jump into these any further. And while there is a lot to, there's a lot to looking back, at the styles and everything and the way some of the characters act and everything. Yeah, it can be humorous. But yeah, the impact of blaxploitation, I think, as a tool to kind of empower the black community, I think it's something that I don't know. I mean, I don't hear it talked about a lot. You kind of maybe hear about it more. And as these movies start getting, high definition transfers and kind of getting back out there, into the culture, I think we're going to have a lot more of these conversations.
Yeah, Kino has done. If you're interested, Kino has done Cotton Comes to Harlem on Blu-ray. They did 42nd Street on Blu-ray. They did. They're doing, of course, Sugar Hill, and they just recently announced Truck Turner, which is like best fucking blaxploitation movies there is. So yeah, I mean, there's a ton that need to be out again. I know that, of course, Arrow's re-releasing Foxy Brown and Coffee, and they're a little bit more well known. And then Vinegar Syndrome's doing an unknown one I haven't even seen called The Mothers. So I think that comes out like next month. I think that's the same. I think it's the same movie.
I think so.
But we'll see. But there's a ton out there. You just need to really kind of, some of these things you have to find. MGM put a lot of them out on the Soul Cinema double packs. But yeah, there's a lot of great films out there.
I wanted to mention Kino also. They're doing a Kickstarter for it's the set they're going to be releasing called Pioneers of African American Cinema. And this is films between the 1920s and 1940s. So it's kind of a precursor into blaxploitation if you're a film history buff. I think that's something to look into. I'm not sure when it ends. It ends on Saturday, March 21st. So you have until then to back the project. They've already reached their goal. In order to get the set, it's $100 to get the set, but there's other perks. I would definitely do it to get the set, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it just yet. But that's something that they're doing, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. But as far as blaxploitation film, I said 42nd Street earlier when you were talking. I realized it's across 110th Street for some. I don't know why I said 40. I think I was talking about 42nd Street because of porno. Anyways,
which is always kind of half. You always have that on your mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's across 110th Street. But I would definitely, we talked about Sweetback. That's definitely one to check out. Shaft, of course, that's really well known. Superfly, Slaughter is really, really good. I'm just kind of shouting off some stuff.
Yeah,
now
because
that
there's movies we haven't really talked about.
I need to check out. Trouble Man, I really, really dig. I'm actually looking at these. I'm actually using something, Sean, to
What?
well, because I wanted to go by years because I didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
It's actually my own list. Black Caesar, which was kind of the big one for Fred Williamson, where he really impacted. I think Tarantino even said that Fred Williamson's like the Black Burt Reynolds, and that Black Caesar really shows that. Of course, the Cleopatra Jones and the sequel Cleopatra Jones and the Casino of Gold. Those are two great films. Of course, we have anything with Pam Grier. I would definitely check out. Detroit 9000 is definitely a great film. We talked about Iceberg Slim. His second or third book was made into a movie called Trick Baby. Black Belt Jones. If anybody knows anything about Jim Kelly, great martial artist. Had some really, really badass films. He played in Enter the Dragon as well with Bruce Lee. He's a great martial artist, and sadly we lost him a few years ago. The Black Six, which is a fucking badass motorcycle gang. Black Eye, which is another Fred Williamson, kind of like a detective, kind of like a Shaft type thing going on. I think that's available on DVD through MGM. Let's see. TNT Jackson is definitely one. As I mentioned before, Kino's releasing Truck Turner, by far one of the best blaxploitation movies. If there's one that you should check out before anything else to actually get you started, is fucking Truck Turner.
Cool.
It's fucking a great action movie. Of course, The Black Gestapo, which is a really, really weird one, but it's good. And we talked about Graydon Clark. He did a spinoff of Warren Beatty's Shampoo. He made Black Shampoo, which is definitely something to see. It's very, very comical. The kind of Boss Nigger trilogy with Fred Williamson. He's Legend Nigger Charlie, Boss Nigger, all those. Those are really, really good westerns. I highly, highly suggest checking those out. And that's pretty much it, other than stuff from, like I said, blaxploitation still went strong kind of in the 80s, with like The Last Dragon and Original Gangsters and all Fred Williamson's like Black Cobra movies. Mm-hmm. Fred Williamson really kept blaxploitation alive during a time where they weren't being very popular at the time, I guess you'd say, or kind of big.
Yeah.
A lot of smaller, like, independent blaxploitation films were out. Because like I said, it kind of really died off in the late 70s. But in the 80s, we had, One Down, Two to Go, which is one of my favorites, other than Truck Turner. It's got Jim Brown, Jim Kelly, Fred Williamson, and Richard Roundtree.
I think that's on Netflix too.
4 of your biggest fucking blaxploitation actors in one movie that just play unrelenting badasses that are going to find out who killed their brother. So definitely something to definitely have a long list of stuff to check out. Like it's very, very, like, it's just a cool genre in general all around, and you're in for a good time. Oh, and also Brotherhood of Death, which is on Code Red's. They released a Blu-ray, which is fucking amazing. Like it's that one's really good too. Fucking a bunch of black vets that dress up as Klansmen to fucking kill him. Like that's like your typical. It sounds like your typical blaxploitation.
Is that one even easy to get, or is it?
Well,
the Code Red store. Does Diabolic have it?
You always say Diabolic.
I don't know. I know.
Diabolic has kind of stopped carrying Code Red titles.
Damn it.
I think there's been some dispute over. I haven't got the full story, but Diabolic seems like they are ceasing to carry Scorpion titles and Code Red titles. I'm guessing because they're dealing with the Olsen twins. So I think there's a lot of mainly because Bill likes to shut down his store because he feels like everybody's selling third party. Well, if you wouldn't fucking stop shutting down your store, you wouldn't have people sell it third party.
Yeah, but he can't keep up with the orders. God. Remember, he complained when he got a whole bunch of orders at once. And he said, basically, within the next 2 months, you'll be getting your shit.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things, like, it's just funny just to follow kind of what he says and does because any sense because he's like, my stuff doesn't sell. I sit on it in my vault. I have 3 vaults. I can't sell anything. And then he sells shit and he's like, I can't do this. It's too much.
Yeah. I can't get rid of this stuff. I don't have time or it's going to take me too long. By the way, speaking of Bill Olsen, next week, New Year's Evil comes out on Blu-ray and he apparently moderates the commentary with the filmmakers.
Dude, I can't wait to listen.
I hear is just off the wall.
He's off the rocker, dude.
I hear he just asks questions that just have nothing to do with the film. It just is out there, and the filmmakers basically kind of humor him.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a recent recording, because that's got to be new, because New Year's Evil, as far as I know, had the VHS release, and then MGM did a DVD of it, but I have the DVD, and I don't remember any commentaries.
Yeah,
So that's going to be something to fucking see, man.
I can't wait.
Apparently,
people are saying even if you don't like the film, that's the reason to get the Blu-ray.
In the movie?
Huh?
Have you seen
New Year's Evil? Yeah, it was streaming on Netflix, or it was anyway.
Oh yeah, I like it, man. It's really. But as of right now, February was today the 17th.
Yes.
At 11:39 EST, Code Red Big Cartel is up.
Oh, holy shit!
Yeah, it's been up for the past week. He took it down for a few days to fulfill orders. Back up now. I know we talk a lot of shit about Code Red and Bill just because it's fucking hilarious, but legitimately the guy's got a great catalog and he's really, really good movies.
Yeah.
You're going to, people, even you, Sean, you're like, I don't know if I want to buy DVDs. Well, some of this shit you may never get again.
I know. I've been looking in them.
Only certain people that have the money and have the time in order to do things like this. Yes, a lot of these will probably be picked up by Vinegar Syndrome, because they've already picked up 3 since they stole them. But I mean, there's a lot of shit on there that's just ridiculously good and extremely hard to find, and fucking Blu-rays of it.
Yeah, I want to get that Butcher one, whatever.
The Bloodthirsty Butcher movie?
No. With frickin'... Huh?
Baker, Nightmare Maker?
Yes. Yeah.
Warning? Yeah. That's definitely something to see. Night Warnings are really... it's really out there. There's this huge, gay undertone to the movie, too. It's just really, really bizarre. It's just... it's a good movie. It's just really, really weird. That's actually, and those, if you actually listen to us and you go to Code Red, he'll have things that say sold out. They're not sold out. So when you go to it, don't think that it's actually gone forever. It's just that Bill claims he has 3 or 4 vaults, and he only can get to certain ones for certain months or some bullshit. So he'll put them listed as sold out, even though they're not. Right, because he can't get to them or whatever. Keep that in mind, because right now, Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker sold out, but it obviously isn't, because that's not a limited edition. So just, be smart with what you get. Don't, get something you don't want to because your other one's sold out. Just wait. Right. Because eventually become available. But I do suggest picking up some of these movies because I don't think he's got too much longer going on for this. Because I think he's just going to get burnt out and just stop one day.
I mean, he's not burnt out yet?
Well, he is, but I have a feeling like these movies are going to go away.
Yeah, definitely.
On a stockpile of this shit.
Yeah. I keep saying, just give me Shakma. Someone just give me Shakma on Blu-ray. Apparently that was announced like 3 years ago for Code Red. That ain't coming out.
But I just want to read this for you. I was sold out. Rituals with Hal Holbrook, which I've wanted for a long time. I believe that is sold out. But if you want just a good time on your lunch break, go to CodeRedBigCartel.com and look at the definitions of the movies. This is the definition of the beginning of the movie. I briefly removed this listing due to error on shipping amount and people panic. I read names. Let's see if they're going to buy it or just complaint it was never out. Geez, for the love of God, buy it if you want it. Quit blaming on me or Obama just because you buy it.
Like me or Obama.
Every single one you click on says shit like that.
Oh my God.
Actually go to, I know we're like totally going off the wall.
Hey, who cares?
But if you go to shit.
He updated Nightmare. He took that off. He put something crazy on Nightmare, but right now it says, due to high volume of hoarders that is selling this is Fleabay, 1 per customers.
But what is remember that night I told you, he fucking started arguing with me, like, Facebook, and I'm like, where's this coming from? But he actually commented and put my name on one.
Oh, yeah. I forget which movie that was.
I don't remember which movie, because it doesn't really matter. I just laughed. But, like, he does that shit. Like, he'll post, like, so-and-so says this, they're an asshole. But, anyways, if you want a fun time, just go read.
Oh, my God. He has the picture of...
He has the picture of Eli Roth, the Scream Factory movie.
Yes.
Like,
it just says $100. Due to high volume of sales, some order might take 3 weeks to be shipped. Some of the inventory is at one of the 3 vaults. 4th vault item is crammed into the other 3 vaults, so it might take many hours to find some titles.
This is why if you do order from him, you might have to wait a few weeks. Anyways, enough about Code Red.
Oh my gosh, we can go on for hours and hours. I can't believe he has no organization with one... that blows my mind.
15 years.
Wow.
Probably even longer than that.
Incredible.
But anyway, Blaxploitation and Code
Red. We hope you guys have dug these kind of us going off the reservation a little bit with talking about Blaxploitation. Huh?
Be hearing about this one.
You will? We will?
Well, one's off the rails. Yeah, Bill Olsen's going to listen to this fucking... Are you calling me the Olsen twins again?
He's going to shut down the store. Sorry, everybody. He's going to shut down the store because he heard us talking.
I was talking shit.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. These past few weeks, we've gotten for all the shit all the shit I throw myself, basically, we've gotten some good feedback. So thank you for the kind words, those of you who have given us good feedback. We're gonna be kind of back to the regular scheduled program coming up, talking about some horror titles and things like that. I know that we want to hit Starry Eyes for sure. We want to hit New Year's Evil for sure, and Phantom of the Opera with Robert Englund at some point. So we got some good stuff coming out as far as covering some cool releases, but also like Brad's been busting his ass to get some more guests on, and the guest list is looking pretty cool. So I'm really excited to kind of jump back into having guests on and things like that. So there's some good stuff coming down the line.
Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed our ethnic and colored episodes.
You son of a bitch.
Fucking racist.
Oh my god. Okay. And with that, find us over at thescreamcast.com or over at oneofus.net. And we're on Twitter, Scream_cast.
Nerdly.
And, Yeah, and nerdly.co.uk has been kind enough to link to our show. So thank you for all of you who've listened. Drop us a line, read me at thescreamcast.com if you want to send us an email. Also, trying to blow out these goddamn t-shirts. Right now I have them all. We only have smalls, mediums, and some larges left.
Follow us on Brad on Twitter.
What? Anyway, I have they're up on the site. I have them for $8 a pop. And then I think $4 shipping, so that's $12.
Promo code to get it for $7?
No promo code.
About code RED. Promo code. RED is promo code. You get it for free.
No, sorry. No promo codes. Anyway, we are trying to get rid of these, and then we'll explore other merchandise options, because I like the t-shirts, but I kind of feel like maybe they were a dud. But part of me is kind of a bit ticked off that my full order never got completed, but that's a whole other story. And all of you who wanted extra large shirts, we were shorted and never got those. So that's enough. That's enough of my.
Maybe you can have Bill Olsen on the show and you guys can bitch about stuff.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Dude, he would totally come on the show and have no idea. I wouldn't want to make fun of the guy because I kind of feel bad for him, but it actually would probably be funny to have on the show. Because he'd probably start ranting.
My wheels are turning. Brad, let's make that happen.
I know. I'm actually really debating about it. But I don't know if I can keep a straight face. Because I really don't want to make it to the point where we're in front of him, because I don't want to do that, because I actually feel bad for the guy. I just think how he runs things is very, very funny, and how he reacts. But, I mean, obviously the guy does have some problems. So, by no means I want to make fun of him. So, I probably won't.
It would be...
Because I couldn't stop laughing.
Basically, we would come across as total assholes, and the show would be over.
Fuck watching New Year's Evil. Just listen to that fucking commentary.
I can't wait. All right. Anyway, we keep rambling, but thanks again for listening to the show. Let us know what you thought about these episodes. If you checked out some of these movies and enjoyed them or hated them or whatever, we'd love to hear your thoughts. So drop us a line, either email, which who emails anymore, but it's readme@thescreamcast.com, or just hit us up on Twitter or comment on the freaking website. Okay? All of you guys have a great week. What, Brad?
No, I was just saying, people complain about you a lot through my Twitter.
Do they? Fuck you guys. All right. All you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Oh, don't tell me you're leaving. The party's just begun.
Welcome, everyone, to the Screamcast, episode 49. Hey, can you crank the volume on your microphone by chance?
How's it now?
Hey. Put that microphone in your mouth, sir.
It is.
All right, go.
Poop. You said poop like 4 times.
Shit.